Hey, I want to talk to you for a minute. Not the version of you that's handling business. Not the version that's keeping it together. The version of you that knows something is off. Because there's an epidemic happening right now. Not a physical epidemic, an identity epidemic. Men are showing up, but they're not anchored. They're functioning, but they're fading. I call it the 3% epidemic. And I'm going to tell you exactly what it is, what causes it, and how it ends. You ever look down at your phone and it says 3%? The phone still works. You can still take the call. It still sends texts. You can still scroll and still looks normal to everyone who can't see the screen. But you know the truth. You are one demand away from going dark. That's what's happening to a lot of men. They're still producing. Still providing, still performing, but internally, they're on 3%. They're running on fumes, and they're acting like it's just life. It's called drift. Drift is slow misalignment. It's when your life starts sliding away from your standards, one compromise at a time, while everything still looks fine from the outside. But here's the truth. Every time you choose escape over responsibility, something inside you weakens. That weakening is the epidemic. That weakening is the drift. Now let me make this practical. If you're wondering, am I at 3%? Here are the symptoms. You're busy, but you're not present. You're successful, but you're not proud. You're respected, but you don't fully respect yourself right now. You don't rest, you escape. Screens, alcohol, doom scrolling, overworking, just enough distraction to avoid silence. I've watched it in every environment I've led in. So who's the real adversary? What are we as men really up against? It's not your schedule. It's not your demands. It's not your family, and it's not your career. The true adversary is comfort. Comfort unchecked. Comfort unmanaged. Comfort as a lifestyle. Comfort sedates. It dulls your edge. It delays hard conversations. It makes discipline negotiable. It turns I'll do it into I'll do it Monday. And the longer you live sedated by comfort, the more normal it feels to avoid responsibility. Then one day you wake up and you're still successful, but you're not the man you used to be. Now I need you to hear me on this. This isn't about being tired. Some of you are tired because you're carrying real weight. Good. That's honorable. The problem isn't tired. The problem is when tired becomes an excuse to withdraw. When tired becomes permission to numb. When tired becomes the reason you stop leading at home and stop leading yourself. That's going dark. And when I say going dark, I don't mean you disappear physically. I mean you disappear internally. You become reactive, short-tempered, avoidant. You start managing optics instead of living aligned. So how does this happen? It happens when a man loses his standards. A standard is what you refuse to violate. A standard is the line you do not cross, even when nobody is watching. Standards are, I tell the truth, I keep my word, I handle hard conversations, I don't medicate stress with escape. I lead myself before I lead anyone else. When standards are strong, life stays aligned. When standards soften, drift begins. I learned that the hard way. I spent 23 years in the Navy and I led in environments where mistakes had consequences and standards mattered. And I watched a pattern. Leadership failure was almost never a lack of intelligence. It was a breakdown of standards. And then life taught me a deeper lesson about standards. In 2024, my wife Gwen died unexpectedly in my arms. And in a moment like that, the performance version of you gets erased. Titles don't help you. Achievement doesn't comfort you. Distractions don't work. It forced me to ask a question I was avoiding. Who have I actually been? Not the resume version, not the image, the real answer. That truth broke me open. I couldn't pretend anymore. I had to face the real me, and that's when rebuilding becomes possible. So how does the 3% epidemic end? It ends the same way a phone at 3% survives. You plug it in. But plugging it in is not motivation. It's not hype. It's not a quote on Instagram. Plugging in is honest self-assessment, a return to non-negotiable standards, and responsible action immediately. That's the formula. And if you want it in a simple tool, answer these 3 questions. Number 1, what responsibility am I avoiding right now? Number 2, what is it costing my family, my team, my health, and my self-respect? And number 3, what is the next right action I will take in the next 24 hours? It's not 10 steps. It's not reinvention of your entire life. One action, one plug-in, because responsible action is how drift ends. And if you're thinking, okay, Jeff, what standards do I return to? Start here. Honesty. Tell the truth about where you are. Integrity. Close the gap between what you say and what you do. Growth. Choose discipline over comfort daily. And humility. Carry responsibility without ego. That's how you recharge. And the result isn't just a better man at work. The result is a man who comes back to his life. Present, decisive, grounded, trusted. A man whose family can feel him in the room again. If you're at 3%, you don't need shame. You need truth. You need standards. You need one responsible action. You don't have to go dark to wake up. You just have to plug in. And if you're ready to stop drifting, Legion Leadership exists for that moment.